Let's turn to business news now with Nona and Sky City. Surprised the market. Nona, disappointing.
First quarter revenue.
Right.
So
a big drop, right? Year on year.
Well, actually, overall, it wasn't a big drop, but a drop nonetheless. The big surprise was the 20% fall in revenue from their high roller business, which has been a real cash generator for them.
Yeah, and we've talked about this previously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the high roller business has been shrinking, not just here in New Zealand, but in Australasia and Asia because of a crackdown in China on gambling and, illegal gambling and people taking out too much money from the mainland.
So there are two issues here, isn't there? One, illegal gambling, which no one is saying that Sky City is, of course.
Oh, no, nothing to do with it.
Sorry, yeah, and the other is that people were removing a lot of money from China to go and, forgive me for being pejorative, and they can sue me if they want, lose it in casinos in Australasia, right? And that's harder to do now.
Well, it's very hard for a gambler to, for gamblers to take out those big wads of cash out of China on a regular basis and just, run it through various casinos. And then just last week, I guess, 18 members of the Crown Resorts, that's a casino operator out of Australia, were arrested in China for breaking laws there. So the crackdown is getting, really starting to expand into areas where people didn't think would happen before.
Directly impacting on revenue at casinos.
For sure.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and so Sky City says they really don't know what's going to happen in the long term. Meanwhile, the market really didn't like it. Took 14% off the value of their shares today.
The markets don't like surprises, do they?
No. It recovered a little bit at the end. It closed down 12% down. It ended down 51 cents to $3.76.
Well, that's a big old drop in a day.
And maybe a little bit, it's hard to say whether or not that's an overreaction at this stage. So very little is known as to what is going to happen with that gambling business.
And they have, if my memory serves me correctly, had a good year or two. We've talked about previously.
Yes, that's right.
So the shares have been going.
Yeah, and they're actually expecting that to improve. Different story for Pumpkin Patch. They put out a notice today, put their shares in a trading halt. They've warned their shareholders that there's hardly any value left in the company, and they're reviewing the position of what's going to come next. And we can expect to hear back soon. Meanwhile, that company's shares are worth 6 cents each.
Gosh.
And back in 2007, they were worth $4.95.
Holy moly.
So for the shareholders there, big disappointment, and there's no turning back on that one, I don't think. Meanwhile, the New Zealand dollar also lost a little bit of ground today, and that's because the European Central Bank is apparently going to continue to ease monetary policy, which is fine, I guess. Anyways, the U.S. dollar rallied. The New Zealand dollar fell a little bit, 71.7 U.S. cents. The Australian dollar, 93.9 cents and 58.6 British pence.
Thank you so much, Nona. Have a great weekend. Nona Peltier.